Welcome back to our weekly market wrap-up. The market posted modest gains for the second consecutive week, with broader indices rallying despite weak economic data. Focus now shifts to Q3 earnings and upcoming economic updates. So stay tuned, and by the end of this video, we'll unpack the key drivers behind these gains and what lies ahead. This week, the BSE Sensex gained by 0.6%, while the Nifty 50 rose 0.8%. The mid-cap index rose by 1.3% and the small-cap index jumped 1.9%. This rally was supported by investor optimism despite concerns over economic indicators. Let's take a look at this week's key economic updates. India's forex reserves fell by $8.5 billion to $644.4 billion for the week ending December 20th. Gold reserves declined by $2.3 billion to $65.7 billion. SDRs decreased by $112 million to $17.8 billion. And the IMF reserve position dropped $23 million to $4.2 billion. India's fiscal deficit reached 8.5 lakh crore, 52.5% of the target, in April-November, exceeding last year's 50.7% for the same period. Capital expenditure lagged at 5.1 lakh crore compared to last year's 58.5%. China's manufacturing PMI for December dipped to 50.1 from 50.3 in November, signaling an economic slowdown. The Caixin PMI also fell to 50.5 from 51.5. Singapore's GDP growth slowed to 0.1% in Q4 from 3.2% in the previous quarter. Germany's PMI declined to 42.5 in December from 43.0, and France saw production drop to 41.9, the steepest fall since May 2020. Among this week's top gainers, ITI Limited surged to 9.3%, boosted by securing orders, including a Rs4 559 crore contract for BharatNet Phase 3. Lloyds Metals rose 21.9%, hitting all-time highs on heavy volumes. Saregama jumped 18.0%, rebounding after dismal Q2 results. On the downside, among the losers we had Triveni Engineering fell 10.5% due to profit booking after reaching all-time highs. Balaji Amines dropped 8.9% to all-time lows amid a prolonged downtrend. Cient declined 7.9%, consolidating after revised flat revenue guidance in Q2. A quick highlight from the unlisted equity space. Tata Investment shares soared by 12% as Tata Capital announced plans for a 17,000 crore IPO. Interest remains high in companies like MSEI, NSE, OYO, Farmesi, CSK, NSDL, Vikram Solar and HDB Financial Services. Here's what to watch in the week ahead. India will release the HSBC Composite and Services PMI, December. On January 6th, FY25 GDP growth, preliminary, on January 7th, and November industrial production data on January 10th. US ISM Services PMI data for December will be released on January 7th, alongside the JOLTS report for November. Minutes from the latest Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC meeting will be published on January 9th. That wraps up this week's market highlights. Next week, market movements will likely be influenced by Q3 earnings reports, global economic updates, and investor sentiment. Subscribe to Tikona Capital for more insights and wealth-building opportunities from the themes of the decade. Visit us at tikonacapital.smallcase.com to explore thematic investments in the Amrit Kaal. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. See you next week.